welcome to a brand new episode of Health360. This week on the show, we'll tell you about the generation of Sephora kids, those children who are being targeted by the beauty industry, tapping into a younger, highly impressionable market, raising serious concerns while companies are marketing these products for makeup as safe and playful. Also on the show, the H3N2 virus, which is sweeping Delhi National Capital Region. We'll tell you a little about the HIFU technology, which is being seen as an alternative to chemotherapy and other forms of treatment for prostate cancer. That and much more on Health360 this week. I'm Sneha Mordani. They're now showing up in the hands of girls as young as 6, 7 and 8. With the rise of kid-targeted beauty lines from brands like Sephora, Petite and Pretty and even Walmart's, more than magic, the beauty industry is tapping into a younger, highly impressionable market, and it's raising serious questions on ethics of it while companies market these products as safe, playful and age-appropriate. Many parents and psychologists are questioning whether we are selling beauty standards to children before they've even lost their baby teeth. What may start as harmless fun, a swipe of glitter or a dab of lip gloss, can quickly spiral into appearance anxiety, social media mimicry and a skewed sense of self-worth. What platforms like TikTok and YouTube flooded with mini get ready with me routines, the pressure to look polished is creeping in earlier than ever. Critics argue that we are blurring the lines between play and performance and wonder if brands are prioritizing profits over the long-term psychological health of children. Is this self-expression or is it a fast track to body image issues in the making? The debate is only heating up, and so is the market. Take a look. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the reality of skincare today. At an age where getting their multiplication sums right is a challenge, these kids are doing something that you and I would have never done as 10, 12-year-olds. This is the generation of Sephora kids. Not too long ago, skincare shelves were the domain of adults, but today they're buzzing with teenagers and even younger kids who can reel off ingredient names like retinol and hyaluronic acid as casually as they can talk about cricket scores or homework. And Dr. Chaitra Vianand, founder of Cosmoderma Clinics, is now with us. Thank you for your time. I want to ask you, why are we seeing this kind of obsession among kids? You know, what are the factors that in a way influence their decision or their choices when it comes to using these products? Dr. Chaitra.
Thanks for that question, Sneha, and I think it's very pertinent to ask these questions in this day and age. I think I put it down to exposure. You know, the kids today have the world at their fingertips, so to speak, you know, and everything is about consumption of content. It's also about what they see around themselves, right? Like people around them. And all of this creates an ecosphere where they're looking at makeup, they're looking at trends, they're looking at mini kid influencers talking about products, and they want to fit in. And so I think that's where all of this is coming from.
At shopping malls and beauty counters, you'll find 11-year-olds filling their baskets with sheet masks, serums, cleansers, and the reason is simple: social media. On TikTok and Instagram, the so-called glass skin glow has become the new standard of cool, with influencers racking up millions of views as they show off 10-step routines that look more like science experiments than skincare. The rise of social media is the biggest factor behind this trend. Nearly half of Indian kids below 12 now spend as many as 4 hours daily on digital devices, whether for learning or for leisure. Dr. Kiran Sethi, Medical Director, Asia Aesthetics, is with us. Thank you for your time. The role of social media in sending out these messages to kids that this is how you're going to be more acceptable in society, among your peer, among your friends. That also is truly problematic, isn't it?
So peer pressure is nothing new, but social media amplifies it because now it's not one person, it might be 1,000 people. It's not your 3 friends, it's 3,000 of their friends and friends going forward. So we now have amplified peer pressure using social media. And our gauge of reality is even more complex because we're not actually meeting people, ascertaining their facial expressions. It's all interpretation. And our brains, when we're younger, it's not developed to handle this.
Dermatologists are sounding the alarm, warning that many of these powerful products, especially anti-aging ingredients like retinol, can actually harm young skin that really only needs soap water and sunscreen. Dr. Chaitra, I was asking you, what kind of basic care do kids really need for their skin? What are the basic things that parents can actually just take care of?
I think the answer is right there in your question. Basic need. All they need to do is cleanse their skin. Typically, you want to use a soap-free cleanser for young kids or a pH-balanced cleanser. That's all, a gentle cleanser with absolutely no actives in it. And second, sun protection. This is the only 2 things that kids require.
Market reports show India's teen and pre-teen skincare industry is growing at double digits, and brands are happily riding the wave, rolling out pastel-colored packaging, fruity fragrances, and campaigns that speak directly to kids. Data from Statista shows that the baby and child skincare market is expected to grow at 7.71% rate by 2028. The study further shows the market will reach $380 million US and 160.7 million users worldwide by 2028. The global children's cosmetics market was valued at $1.72 billion in 2024, is projected to reach $2.34 billion by 2030, expanding at a CAGR of 5.26% during this period. There's a big growth that we're seeing in the market for, these products that are specifically targeted at kids to shape their decisions, really to get them to buy these products or get parents to buy these products for their kids. What do you attribute this to? Often it's being marketed as safe products, organic products, safe for kids. I did come across one such ad that said, the makeup is so safe that you can actually eat it. So, what do you have to say about this kind of marketing and the big boom that this sector really is seeing?
I'd love to see that marketing company make their own kids eat that makeup in the first place. But honestly, that's what it comes down to, right? Really, it's marketing and branding. And brands, we can't just blame brands. They're there to make money. It's a commerce, and they're going to do that. I mean, think about it, Sneha. The market is growing at a 10% annual compounded growth. That's crazy, right? Indian market is actually growing faster. Southeast Asia, India is the fastest growing market in kids cosmetics compared to even the Western other markets. And why are they marketing this? Because they can market it, because there's no rules, no regulations, nothing. I mean, tomorrow you can open something and say, this is just 100% natural. But who's testing it? Who's saying it is natural? There is no regulation. So I think the government has to really clamp down on this, put in the regulations for all of this. And also, there is some controls, but I think everybody finds a way around it.
A lot of people talk about this. What's really wrong with young girls to explore their mother's makeup, for example? We've all been there, done that in a sense, and beauty routines to kind of follow them, to mimic them. But what really is different today, doctor, is that the powerful and widespread reach of the beauty industry targeting children specifically, isn't it? And online, these products are just available, and it's so easily available, and that's a big, big worry here.
So companies are spending millions of dollars targeting this particular population. They are very sensitive to advertising. They respond to whatever you tell them on YouTube. They respond to whatever you tell them on TikTok or Instagram, and they think that they need to do it. They don't have that prefrontal cortex developed to understand the difference between marketing and truth. It's unfortunate because children are the most vulnerable population, but they get the most marketed to, and companies know it, are achieving those objectives. It's wrong.
And in India and outside, this obsession with skincare is for us to see. Brands are designing and selling products meant for young girls, promising that it is safe for their tender skin. Young girls are doing tutorials on how to put makeup right. This does not beg the question. When children start equating clear skin with self-worth, it can chip away at their confidence and body image. But convincing them of that is tough when their favorite influencer swears by serums and masks. And joining us right now is Dr. Bhavna Barmi, Senior Clinical and Child Psychologist. Thank you for your time. My question has got to do really with, how this product or use of these products really harm children, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, the kind of impact that it leaves on them, these impressions that they need to look a certain way, that this is what is going to define them at the end of the day. That truly, doctor, is problematic, isn't it?
The rising trend of children, especially under the age of 12, buying and using makeup is not just a passing fashion fad. It's actually a growing mental health, public health, and a psychological concern. In fact, the cosmetics industry is aggressively targeting young consumers through social media influencers, YouTube tutorials, and playful packaging, creating a generation that is overly conscious. When children start using makeup too early, they may develop the belief that their natural appearance isn't good enough. This can lead to low self-esteem, body dissatisfaction, and a dependency, and sometimes even an addiction on using makeup to build up their esteem and confidence.
It is important to tell our kids that healthy skin doesn't come from a bathroom shelf full of bottles, and to remind children that perfect skin is not what defines them, and that more than any serum or toner may be the most important lesson really in skincare. Delhi National Capital Region is currently experiencing a significant surge in H3N2 influenza A cases, leading to widespread viral illnesses. According to a local circle survey, 69% of households in the region report one or more members exhibiting symptoms such as fever, cough, sore throat, and respiratory distress. 37% of the respondents indicated that 4 or more individuals in their household are affected, highlighting the scale of the outbreak in that sense. Seasonal flu is a broad term for many respiratory viruses. H3N2 is a specific subtype of influenza A that is currently predominant. This report is going to be answering all your questions. Dr. Romel Tico, Director, Internal Medicine, Max Healthcare, is with us. Thank you for your time. Doctor, everybody wants to know what really is this virus, H3N2. I understand, not a new one, but clearly still worrisome, isn't it?
It is to some extent, because we've had lots of patients in the last 1 month who come with a flu-like illness, though we don't test everybody. But the ones we test have turned out to be positive for H3N2, influenza A virus. Now, this is one of the strains of the common flu, but this year we've seen that a lot of people are having persistent symptoms. It starts as an influenza-like illness, fever, body ache, headache, but persistent cough, fatigue after recovery, loss of appetite. So it seems to be a mutated strain, but the good thing is that most of them are recovering. And the ones with comorbidities and high risk, they might need hospitalization at times.
Oh, right. Okay. So who really is vulnerable here and why?
The elderly and children below 5 years of age, and those with comorbidities, diabetic patients, cardiac patients, cancer patients, those who are immunosuppressed, those who are on steroids, because they are at a high risk of complications, which is pneumonia, respiratory distress. They land up in the hospital, might need ICU stay, hospitalization, and things like that. They have to be extra careful.
Right, doctor. I want to ask you, how is H3N2 different from common cold or from COVID in that sense?
See, common cold, there are many different viruses. They don't lead to intense body ache, headache, constitutional symptoms, stomach issues, bronchitis. It's the COVID and the flu which usually sometimes proceeds to the chest, and that's when you get bronchitis or you can have pneumonia if you are a high risk patient. So this year also, the majority of the patients are recovering in 5 to 7 days, though they have very high fever, which usually doesn't respond to paracetamol. But some of
Okay.
them actually land up with bronchitis, needing nebulizations and very rarely steroids. So it is a mutated strain of influenza A virus. It's
Okay.
different in the sense that usually common cold belongs to a different group of viruses which don't give you intense symptoms. This is more intense in a sense.
Okay. Okay. And I think that's the reason why most people complain about the fact that they aren't really recovering very quickly. So when does, one see a doctor?
See, in the first 48 hours, you can take it easy. You can rest. You can have paracetamol. Don't self-medicate otherwise. Don't take painkillers. Don't take antibiotics because antibiotics don't have a role. This is a virus. So beyond 48 hours, you should usually get in touch with the doctor because there's a test. You can do a swab test. You can get to know once you know it is flu. See, the thing is that if you start an antiviral oseltamivir within the first 48 hours, so your symptoms will be much better. The recovery will be faster and it works best in the first 48 hours. So, in a sense, it helps you if you know you have it. But in this season, when you have lots of flu like illness patients coming to you, we usually don't test, we just give them, especially if there's very high fever and if they're a high risk, so we treat them. So, maybe it's not flu, maybe it's dengue because this is the season when you see quite an overlap of dengue, flu, though
True.
predominantly respiratory symptoms are seen in flu.
Doctor, I was asking you that in a country like ours, there's little awareness about the importance of the annual flu vaccine, that could perhaps, I don't know, protect us against something like this. What's the significance of it? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's very important to take the flu shot annually. Abroad, in many countries, it's the standard to take the flu shot, but there's not much awareness in our country. And it does protect you from getting complications. It might not protect you from getting the infection. The efficacy is
Okay.
about, say, 60% in the general population. So the ones who are at high risk, those ones with comorbidities or immunosuppressed, elderly children, it does protect them from getting hospitalized. It does protect them from getting complications, ICU stay. So it's very important that we take this annual flu shot in the month of September, October, just before the winter peaks in. We should take this shot every year.
All right. All right. It's amazing that in a country that vaccinates so much, the flu shot yet hasn't really, garnered much faith, I would say, or people really perhaps are not aware of the importance of it. But doctor has said that we must take the annual flu shot. Remember, this is a virus. It mutates, it changes its form every single year. So it's important to take this shot every single year. I'm going to thank you, Dr. Teku, for joining in with your thoughts on that. Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers affecting men worldwide. A diagnosis that often brings with it fear, difficult decisions, and life-altering treatments. But now, a breakthrough technology is offering new hope. It's called HIFU, High Intensity Focused Ultrasound, and it's changing the way doctors approach prostate cancer. Unlike traditional surgery or radiation, HIFU is non-invasive, precise, and minimizes damage to healthy tissue. For many men, that means fewer side effects, faster recovery, and a better quality of life. As awareness grows and access expands, this cutting-edge treatment is sparking new conversations about how we fight cancer and how we care for those who face it. It is not a disease of the old anymore, largely seen in older men. Prostate cancer is now being seen in men even below the age of 55. Cases are rising sharply in India. Urban men above 60, of course, continue to be the most vulnerable. Once considered rare in India, prostate cancer is now among the top 10 cancers affecting men. 48,000 new cases expected in the year 2025 this year. The numbers are climbing very fast. Urbanization, longer life expectancy, and sedentary lifestyles are contributing to the surge, but so is increased awareness and screening, especially in cities. And joining us right now is Dr. Yuvraja TB, Uro-Oncology Surgeon from Kokilaben Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital. Thank you for your time. I want to ask you that there is great amount of concern regarding increase in cancer cases, prostate cancer cases in our country. What could be the possible reasons, doctor, behind this?
Reason generally it has been blamed are the urbanization. That is the most important one. So now in Western countries, the incidence is almost 200 per lakh population. In India is around 20 lakh per population. Although incidence is less, the population in India is very high. So the number of cases remains almost the same. And now because of the awareness of among people to to do health checkup, and they are doing early detection and screening of by doing a simple blood test called PSA test, so we can detect early cancer. So that is the reason we are seeing more and more cases.
Traditional surgery or radiation often come with serious side effects like incontinence or impotence. But now, a new frontier in treatment, HIFU, or high-intensity focused ultrasound, has come in. It is non-invasive outpatient procedure that uses focused sound waves to destroy cancer cells without cutting or radiation. Jay Mehta, co-founder Novomed Incorporation, is now joining us. Thank you for your time. We want to understand, what is this technology? How is it disruptive? Explain to us firstly, how does it really work?
To put it simply, to understand the concept, it is like when we were all in school and we used to use a magnifying glass and put it out in the sun and to burn a spot on a leaf, something similar to that. So the sun's rays are harmless, but when they are focused in a particular point, that energy creates that burn. So HIFU works in a similar manner where you are using sound waves, and when focused, they can create that burn, which you want to burn the tissue, very systematically and very precisely without harming anything around it.
HIFU is FDA approved and now available in top Indian hospitals. Experts say it is ideal for early stage localized prostate cancer, especially for patients unfit for surgery. So why is that HIFU is really considered a better line of treatment in that sense?
The main points of HIFU, where it kind of separates itself from the traditional treatments, especially for the low-grade cancers, is that it's very safe and effective. So when you are looking at options like surgery and radiation, the side effects that can occur because of the procedure itself are very high. So when I talk about side effects like incontinence and sexual function. So when we look at HIFU, the chances of these side effects are close to zero, I can say.
So doctor, how does HIFU really work better, given that you did mention that prostate cancer is being seen in the younger population as well?
It is not better than that, it is equal to that in select cases where, so there is a very small prostate cancer inside the prostate, volume is less, so no need to do a aggressive therapy like surgery and radiation, which is a invasive, and it has got a lot of side effects. So preventing this, still we can treat the cancer, so without compromising on the survival of the patient by using these ultrasound waves, so in a high energy which causes heat energy and destroy the cancer cells.
But HIFU isn't yet widely accessible. It's expensive and available mostly in metro cities. Doctors stress the need for early detection, better infrastructure and awareness, especially in Tier 2 and rural areas. Talk to us about the disadvantages of this new technology. High recurrence rates, I understand, is one of them. Also that this isn't for everyone. HIFU really isn't for every patient of prostate cancer, isn't it?
So now HIFU is not for everyone. Like surgery is also not for everyone, and radiation is also not for everyone. So we always select the patient. Which patients are selected for HIFU? The HIFU, we divide them into low risk and intermediate risk. Means, so low risk or intermediate risk means there is a small cancer, only one side of the prostate, volume is less than say around 3 cc, 4 cc. So then only these people are suitable. If there is a cancer in the entire prostate gland, this treatment cannot be done.
Now, if cancer recurs after HIFU, patients can still undergo other treatments like surgery or radiation. This is a significant benefit over some other therapies which can limit future options. That brings us to the end of this edition of Health 360. We hope you enjoyed watching the show as much as we did, putting it together for you. Find these reports and much more up on our website, that's indiatoday.in. Also, all these reports can be found on India Today's social media platforms, X or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. Our hashtag is Health360, Health360 Plus. Do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching. Take very good care of yourself. Bye for now.